As the founder and the only member of the Meet Snowball YouTube channel, I am proud to announce that today we are back with yet another episode of reacting to your football hot takes, part 27 to be exact. 27 parts of the series is absolutely surreal. It's crazy, man. 27 parts. I feel like I've been making this series for years, and I have. But just for context, we still haven't caught up to the Fast and Furious movie franchise. They made 34 movies. Don't look it up. I promise you it's true. They made 34 of those movies. And we're stuck at 27. So we got a long way to go. I gotta get at least 8 more of these, man, because I'm trying to get to that level. I want to be at that level with The Rock and Vin Diesel. Bald and talentless, that's what they are, because they're both hella annoying, man. Honestly, not to be a hater, but they're both hella annoying. But besides the point, today we're back for part 27, like I said, which is crazy. I mean, 27 parts, man. That's all thanks to you guys. Thank you so much for giving me the takes so I can make this series. Like I said in the last video, this series is the best because it's like me and my viewers are making a baby. You guys give me the takes, I make them and, put them out into the world. It's the exact same thing as childbirth, whether you want to admit it or not. I know it makes you uncomfortable, but it's literally like you are a dad in a way because you help bring this series to life. So thank you for that. We have so many great hot takes here, so we're going to get into it before I say any more stupid shit. For the best graphic tees in the game, check out the final thread, the link's in the description. And yeah, thank you to everybody, thank you to everybody, who submitted their hot take. I appreciate you. And yeah, let's get into the video. Alright, the first take is, Pedri has the potential to be better than Xavi and Iniesta. He achieved so much at a young age and plays with so much maturity. I think he has the potential to be better than them. It's not to say they're bad, but it shows how good Pedri is. Here's the thing. We can always talk potential. It is so easy to talk potential. Dele Alli had the potential to be better than Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard and Paul Scholes, but he wasn't. Anthony Martial had the potential to be a Ballon d'Or winner and the next Thierry Henry, but he wasn't. And I'm not comparing Pedri to Dele Alli and Anthony Martial because his heights have been way higher than anything those guys ever dreamed of reaching. I mean, Pedri's highs have been, he just had one of the best seasons I've ever seen from a midfielder. That's his high. He's so good. I believe Pedri has all the potential in the world. I actually believe we haven't even seen Pedri's prime yet. I think he has another level he can reach in his career still. Because I think the all-time greats, they get better as their career goes on. Like Luka Modric didn't plateau and stop getting better when he left Tottenham and went to Madrid. He was bad like his first year, but after that he just kept getting better and better and better. To the point where his best seasons were his latter seasons. Toni Kroos didn't plateau and stop improving when he left Bayern and went to Madrid. Like Messi didn't plateau after the final in Rome in 09. He got better after that. Ronaldo didn't plateau after the Ballon d'Or in 08. He got better when he joined Madrid. So my point is, I think Pedri's that caliber of player where he's going to just keep getting better. So the scary thing for the rest of Europe is we haven't even seen, in my opinion, the best of this guy. I think he has so much potential, but with Xavi and Iniesta, bro, it's not potential. I know what those guys were because their career is done. And to me, and you could say I'm biased, but to me, they are the two best midfielders I've ever seen play football. Some people might say, oh, that's biased. It's Modric and Kroos, or it's Modric and Xavi, or it's Iniesta and Xavi. Whatever. I don't really care, bro. Whatever. I'm not here to argue that. The point is, they are at worst top 5, and to me, definitely top 3. And for Pedri to be better than them, again, he has to be, what, the best midfielder ever? Which is hard to do. There's been a lot of great midfielders in the history of this game, but I think Pedri definitely has that potential. What we've seen so far, we're seeing a guy who, he's so good, man. He makes watching football so fun. He makes watching football extremely enjoyable. A lot of players, we can't say that about them. There's a lot of players that I watch that I don't enjoy watching. I genuinely enjoy watching Pedri play. And again, like I said, I think he has so much potential, but with those guys, Xavi and Iniesta, again, it's easy to be, in love with this new thing that which Pedri is. I mean, he's so young still, and we kind of forget about what Xavi and Iniesta were, but those guys were the best players on one of the best, if not the best club team ever, and one of the best, if not the best international team ever. You know what I mean? So that counts for something. And like I said, I think Pedri has so much potential. If his career stays in the trajectory that it's going, and he hopefully stays healthy, I think he can get there. But again, it's easy to talk potential. I want to, I'm fortunate, obviously, that I got to watch Xavi and Iniesta. Hopefully, if I'm able to, I'll be here to watch Pedri's whole career, and we'll see what it comes out to. But again, like I said, if he stays in this trajectory, I definitely think he can reach levels that those guys reached in their career. Our next take is, Mbeumo to United will be the signing of the year, and Joan Garcia will become the greatest Barca keeper ever within the next 10 years. Okay, so a two-parter. The first part is, Mbeumo to United will be the signing of the year. You're definitely going out on a limb with that one because I don't think anybody's predicting that. Nobody's predicting that. And look, no disrespect to Brian Mbeumo, who I actually think has had a decent start to life at United. Nothing crazy, nothing like amazing, nothing spectacular, but he's had a decent start. He scored in a couple games. He obviously missed the pen against Grimsby Town that ended up knocking them out of the EFL Cup, but he also scored a goal in that game. He came off the bench and scored a great goal to make it 2-1 and spark the comeback. That goal was ridiculously good. It was a really, really good goal. So he's had some good moments and some bad moments, but I think he's going to come good. I think Brian Mbeumo is a really, really good player. But he's competing with so many, he's competing with guys that, to me, are better players and went to clubs that can actually win a trophy. I don't see United winning a trophy. And if United don't win a trophy, for Mbeumo, to be considered the signing of the year, he's got to put up crazy production, which, again, I don't see happening. Like, Isak could be potentially the golden boot in Europe. If his career at Liverpool goes as we think it's going to go, which is he's just going to score a bunch of goals and win a bunch of trophies. This year with that Liverpool team, he could easily win the golden boot and win a treble. Would anybody be surprised if Isak at the end of the year has a golden boot in his hand and is holding up the UCL and the Prem, or the Prem or the FA Cup, or the FA Cup and the UCL? Nobody would be surprised. Because Liverpool are that good and he's that good. Reinders with Man City. Again, they're not off to the best start, but he could definitely win some trophies for them. We're looking at, obviously, Gyökeres with Arsenal. All these guys, to me, are going to have better production than Mbeumo and are going to win trophies. Let's just say Isak wins the Golden Boot and, like I said, wins 2 trophies for Liverpool. What would Mbeumo have to do to be the better signing? He would have, if United won no trophies, he would have to put up a 2012 Messi season. Like, he'd have to put up 70 goals and 12 assists or something crazy like that, or 20 assists. Which, again, he's not going to do. So I don't see that happening. So for your first take, again, good for you for giving me a hot take. I appreciate it. And, that's definitely a hot take, but I don't agree. And the second one is, João Garcia will become the greatest Barca keeper ever within the next 10 years. Here's the thing. When it comes to goalkeepers at Barca, there's not a lot of competition. You have Andoni Subasarreta, who was good. He was part of the team that won the UCL back in '92, the first UCL ever for Barca. He was good. He was at Barca for, I think, 8 seasons, made over 300 appearances for the club. He was a good player, okay? Like I said, was part of a team that won the UCL, Barca's first UCL ever. That was great. And then you had who? There was a couple good keepers in there, but then you had Victor Valdés, who was kind of like the keeper, not kind of. He was the starting keeper for that whole dynastic run, obviously with Pep in 08, 10, whatever, all those trophies that Barca won. And also, he won the UCL in the right guard in 06. So when it comes to trophies and impact on Barca, Valdés has that as well. He has that too. So he has that. And also Ter Stegen was part of a UCL winning team and was part of a treble winning team and was at Barca for a long time. So that's kind of his competition. You have Andoni Subasarreta, who, like I said, played back in the 90s. You have Victor Valdés, who I never really felt that comfortable with, even though he was decent, but I never really felt that comfortable with. And then you have Mats, who's had so many ups and downs, and lately it's been so down. His legacy at Barca might be a little bit tarnished because of the way that it's ended. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. So João Garcia doesn't really have the toughest competition. He's not competing against Victor Valdés like if he was joining Madrid or Thibaut Courtois. Valdés can be had, Ter Stegen can be had, Andoni can be had. So look, I think he definitely has the potential. I see, João Garcia has been a guy who, has he been our best player 3 games in? He's honestly been so good. That's saying a lot about Barca, that our goalkeeper's arguably been our best player. But he's been so good. So I'm super optimistic for João Garcia what the future holds with him at Barca. I think he definitely could be the best Barca keeper within the next 10 years because, again, like I said, his competition isn't very fierce. Our next take is, Mbappe is still the best player in the world. You're definitely entitled to that opinion. I think the title of best player in the world is not as defined as it was back when Messi and Ronaldo were still playing. When Messi and Ronnie were still around, it was basically like, whoever won the Ballon d'Or was considered by the masses the best player in the world. I never thought that. I always thought Messi was the best player while he was playing, but still, some people thought that. And whoever had the higher FIFA rating. There was that one year, I think in FIFA 16, where Ronaldo had a higher FIFA rating than Messi, and it was crazy. So to me, it was way more defined back then. Now, it's kind of like fluid. People say it's Lamine Yamal, people say it's Ousmane Dembélé, people say it's Mbappe, some people say it's Pedri, some people say last year was Bellingham. There's a lot of players in that conversation. So, again, I don't think it's as fluid as it was. As it was back when Messi and Ronaldo were playing. So if you still think that Mbappe is the best player in the world, you're entitled to that opinion. Mbappe, first half at Madrid last year wasn't great, but second half really came alive and scored a bunch of goals. And, didn't win a trophy for them, but, Mbappe is still Mbappe. He hasn't really slowed down at all. We all thought he slowed down when he first got to Madrid. He just needed time to really get settled, and now he's taking over once again like he was when he was at PSG. So you could definitely think that. I think the best player in the world is Lamine Yamal because of what we saw last season. I think, he's just so unplayable, and I understand that he hasn't had the best start so far to the Liga, or people are saying that he hasn't had the best start, but I still think he's the best player in the world to me. Rafinha also should get a shout because, he's coming off such a great year. There's a lot of players, man. There's a lot of players that I think can right now get the title of best player in the world, but, to me, it's Lamine Yamal, but if you think it's Mbappe, you're entitled to that opinion as well, obviously. Our next take is Ernesto Valverde was an underrated manager for Barca, only losing 7 league games in 3 seasons and almost went invincible in 2018, by the way, and was let down by his players in the big games in the UCL. Give me a fucking break. Defending Ernesto Valverde's Barca tenure in 2025 is crazy, bro. People are still doing this and dying on this hill that he was wrongfully let go. He overstayed his welcome at Barcelona. He overstayed his welcome by about 2 years, by the way. By about 2 years, he overstayed his welcome. He should have never been let back onto that plane from Rome to Barcelona. Never, bro. He should have stayed in fucking Rome. Because that was embarrassing. He didn't bring subs up until the 80th minute as Barca were fucking drowning. Drowning that whole game. I remember that game very vividly, even though I don't want to. I remember it very vividly. They were drowning the whole game. That midfield couldn't do shit. And he brought in his first sub in the 80th minute. That is fucking malpractice, bro. That is stupid. And then Anfield happened. Which is like, bro, look, there were some chances missed in that game. There were some chances missed. Suarez missed a chance. Messi missed a big chance where he was trying to like do something and Van Dijk. Anyway, I don't want to relive it now. Messi missed some chances. Sergio Roberto and Jordi Alba had generational disaster classes. The midfield played like shit. Played so bad, okay? The whole team underperformed at Anfield. That's why they lost, okay, 4-0. But Ernesto Valverde did not set up that team the right way. And that team was so fucking, oh my God, it was terrible. And when you talk about the league, we completely lost our identity under Ernesto Valverde. I don't care how many league titles we won. I mean, I'm happy that Barca won them, but remember, that was a bad Madrid. Those were bad Madrid teams, like really, really bad Madrid teams. And look, I'm happy that Barca won them. Like 2017, 2018, that Madrid team won the UCL. They finished 3rd in the league. They were a terrible league team. And then the next year, Ronaldo left, and we know how bad they were. They had 2 managers in 1 year. We know how bad that team was. So that played a part in it. And also, man, we completely lost our identity with Ernesto Valverde. It was a struggle to win games away from home. Barca struggled to win games away from home. The majority of the time. It was actually hard to watch Barca play away from home under Ernesto Valverde. So, I'm done with this, bro. This whole thing about how he was wrongfully let go and he's an underrated manager. No, he's not. Ernesto Valverde is a good manager for Bilbao. He can win them a Copa del Rey. Yippee for you. When it gets to that level, you know, the lights are not as, like, this is why Nico Williams stayed, man. This is why Nico Williams stayed. The lights at Bilbao, they're bright. You know, it's Bilbao. You know, their fans love them, which I appreciate. You know what I mean? They're a staple in Spanish football, and they're one of the best clubs in Spanish football. I respect Bilbao massively. It's not Barcelona. That like, Barcelona's fan base extends outside of Catalonia. There's not a lot of Bilbao fans outside of the Basque region, you know what I mean? Like, this just doesn't exist. Barcelona, it's global. So, the lights are so much brighter there. You can succeed at one place and not the other one. We've seen it multiple times. So, again, I don't agree with this take at all. That's why Valverde was rightfully let go, and this whole thing about trying to rewrite his Barca tenure is stupid. Next take is, this whole beef between Yamal Glazers and Rafinha Glazers needs to stop. We finally, after years, have world-class wingers on both sides, and instead of propping up both, people decide to put one down and push one up. People who do that deserve to rewatch the worst seasons of Barcelona in recent history. I 100% agree, bro. Like, the way that people treat Barcelona like a soap opera is crazy to me. It's so insane. People are so worried about the relationship these players have with each other, and people were making edits of Rafinha looking at Lamine Yamal like in a weird way when he was doing the crown celebration, like he's disappointed in him, and it turns out it was an AI video, and people are talking about Fermin and Gavi and their relationship and what's happening with their girlfriends. It's just really odd to me, man. I just, like, now you have people like taking sides, like it's like it's, what's that thing in Harry Potter, like it's Dumbledore or like Gryffindor and the other one, whatever it is. Anyway, my point is, like, people are saying, oh, are you team Rafinha or team Lamine Yamal for the Ballon d'Or? Like, bro, who really cares? I don't even think these guys care. I just think we should just be happy with the players that we have and not try to always prop one up and bring one down. I think they're both world-class players. I think they both work so well together. I think that, you know, trying to dissect a relationship or dissect the relationship of any footballer with any other footballer is weird, man. We don't know these guys. You know, they like, the way they interact is, we have no idea how it goes on a day-to-day basis. We don't know how friendly they are with each other, what they really think of each other. So for us to sit there and try to, like, analyze the video of Rafinha looking at Lamine, again, to me, is weird, but people love doing that, so let them be happy, I guess. But yeah, it needs to stop. Both of these guys are so good. They're both so talented. And I just think that, like, people trying to compare them both, like, talking about how, oh, it shouldn't be Lamine Yamal that gets propped up for the Ballon d'Or. It should be Rafinha. It shouldn't be Rafinha. It should be Lamine Yamal. You can pick whoever you want. Like, they're both Barca players. If you support Barcelona, you'll be happy if either of them win it, because they both play for your team. You don't have to prop one up and bring the other one down like this guy says. So yeah, I agree with this take. And again, I just find that whole thing of some people being that into, like, the relationships of these footballers, like how they interact with each other, I kind of find it strange. So that's just me, though. Our next take is, Luis Suarez and Daniel Sturridge is the best duo in Prem history. That is definitely a bold take, because the Prem has seen some incredible duos. York and Cole, Henry and Bergkamp, Ronaldo and Rooney, Lampard and Drogba. I mean, should I go on? Should I go on and name another one? Can I think of another one? Haaland and De Bruyne, they were a pretty good duo for a couple of years. They were pretty dominant. Anyway, my point is there's been a lot. There's been a lot. And there's probably some that I'm missing, so I'm sorry if I am. But there's definitely some that I'm missing. But point is, there's been a lot of great duos in the Prem. And I don't think Luis Suarez and Daniel Sturridge are in the same conversation as Wayne Rooney and Ronaldo or Henry and Bergkamp. Not that I don't think Luis Suarez is that caliber of player, because I do. I just don't think Daniel Sturridge is that caliber of player. And I love, as you guys know, if you know me, you know that Daniel Sturridge was one of my favorite players growing up. I absolutely adore Daniel Sturridge. I'll defend him with my life. But to say he was on the same, like, if we want to say Henry and Luis Suarez are on the same level, which they are, I actually think Suarez is a higher level, but that's not the point. He's definitely on that level, okay? Luis Suarez is on the level of any player in history apart from Messi and Ronaldo. But then you have Dennis Bergkamp. Unfortunately, I don't think Daniel Sturridge is in that class. Like, I don't think he's in the same class as Wayne Rooney. I don't think he's in the same class as, Didier Drogba or Frank Lampard, quite frankly. So, yeah, I think or even Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane, both of them were amazing. People forget Sadio Mane won a Golden Boot, and Sadio Mane was probably he was the best player on that title-winning team. So, and we know how good Mohamed Salah is. So even them, they won a league title for Liverpool. That's something these two guys never did. They were close, but they never did it. So for me, this is definitely, it's a good hot take, but I'm going to have to disagree. Our next take is there's more pressure on Arsenal to win a serious trophy this year than Liverpool. Okay, that's a good conversation to have. Who is under more pressure to win a trophy this year, or a significant trophy? Liverpool or Arsenal? Arsenal, famously, under Mikel Arteta, have only won one trophy. And with this core, they've really not won a single one. They haven't won a single trophy. And you added Gyökeres, you added Subimendi, you added Norgard, you added Mosquera, you added Hincapié. You added a lot of players, man. And there's probably some that I'm missing. You added a lot of players, is my point. And a lot of good players. Oh, you added, obviously, Eze, which you needed a left winger. So you got Madueke. They added a lot of players. They spent a lot of money. So Arsenal got reinforcements. And again, this should be the year they win their first trophy with this core under Mikel Arteta. So they're under a lot of pressure. Liverpool won the Premier League last year. Made it all the way to the EFL Cup final. So they could have won 2 trophies last year, only walked away with 1, but it's one of the biggest trophies you compete for all year, which is, of course, the Prem. And it was Arne Slot's first year. And, they're kind of going into this season, not playing with house money because they're really not doing that. But they did win the Prem last year, so they kind of have that cushion. Arsenal don't have that cushion of having won a trophy or a big trophy in the past. But the thing with Liverpool, man, is once you do it and then you add the players that you added, you got to go do it again. So now the pressure's on. So this is tricky because Liverpool have that pressure of having done it last year. If they stay the same or maybe got worse, there's not that much pressure to repeat. But now that you got better, significantly better, and you spent this much money, and you took Isak away from Newcastle, and you took Ekitike away from obviously Frankfurt, and you took Wirtz away from Leverkusen, and you took Frimpong away from Leverkusen. Like, there's a lot of pressure here, man. There's a lot of pleasure. There's a lot of pressure to perform. But they kind of have that cushion of having, but still, man, you got to win. Like, if Liverpool go trophyless this year, I think I'll say this. If Liverpool win the Prem only, we'll see how they do in the UCL. They get knocked out in the round of 16 again, and if they get knocked out by a League 2 team or like Plymouth again in the FA Cup, I'd consider that not a success, even if they only win the Prem, because you did that last year with a worse squad. So now you have to get better. You have to win 2 trophies, or maybe 3 trophies, or maybe people are even talking quadruple watch for Liverpool. So I'm gonna have to disagree. I think Arsenal has a lot of pressure because they're yet to win a trophy with Arteta, but Liverpool, man, it's just like they did it last year. So if they really want to justify these signings and the money they spent, they're going to have to do it again this year and do it even better than they did last year. So I think it's tough. It's very, very tricky. It depends how you look at it. But for me, I'd say Liverpool's under more pressure to win a trophy, or a big trophy this year. Next take is Lamine Yamal's ego is out of control. And if he doesn't fix it, his career will be over. Okay, so this person clearly can see the future. They clearly have a crystal ball because they're predicting Lamine Yamal's career will be over if he doesn't fix his ego problem. I don't even think Lamine Yamal has an ego problem. But even if he did, people are acting as if Lamine Yamal is the only athlete ever to become successful while having an ego, which is simply, it's literally the opposite of the truth. It's the opposite of the truth. Like, most of these athletes have massive egos. They have massive egos, bro. So Lamine Yamal, even if, again, I don't think he has this crazy ego, but even if he did, he's no different to any of those other guys. You have to have a huge ego to get to that level, man. These guys are the best of the best at their jobs. It takes a lot of ego to get to that and be like, you're like, being a professional, you're already in the top 0.1%. And to be the best of the professionals, you're talking about a handful of guys. So, and Lamine Yamal is one of those guys. So again, I just think he's a kid who, he's had so much success. He's had so much money, so many accolades thrown his way, and so many, superlatives thrown his way at such a young age. It's kind of normal for sometimes things to get to your head. It's normal. I have a fucking YouTube channel, bro, with 22,000 subscribers, which, I love every single one of you guys, but it's obviously not even comparable to the level of Lamine Yamal, who's a global superstar. And sometimes if I get a nice comment, like if somebody says, "Oh, great video, bro," like you're so entertaining, my ego will get a little inflated. I'll walk down the street with my shoulders like higher, and I'll just be like I'll just looking up the whole time, not even looking at my phone. I'm always looking up because I'm so confident because I got that comment. Imagine being Lamine Yamal, and every time people talk about you, they're talking about how you're the best player in the world. It's normal to kind of become not full of yourself, but to get that confidence, which he should have, by the way, rightfully so. He deserves to have that because he's worked for it. This is not your favorite course scammer on TikTok having an ego because they have fucking glazers on TikTok who love everything they do. You know what I mean? That shit's like those guys they're kind of begging for validation at that point. This kid's not begging for anything. He's that good at what he does. He's really earned that stuff with his pure talent. So for me, I just think people are taking this out of proportion. Yes, he took a penalty. He took a penalty away from Rafinha. He won the penalty. He should start taking penalties because eventually he's going to be Barca's regular penalty taker the same way Messi was. So he should learn that. I'm glad that he took that penalty. Sometimes he forgets to pass. He's assisting for fun, man. This guy, when it's time to make a crucial pass, Lamine Yamal will make that pass. People are saying, "Oh, he cuts inside too much and shoots too much." Look, he does it sometimes a lot. I do agree. He does do that a lot. He tries to find the shot, and sometimes it doesn't work out. But I think he mostly only does that when he has no other option. I really like when the other options are just like they're just gonna be a waste of time. So I might as well just shoot. So again, like I said, I don't think his ego's out of control. I think Lamine Yamal is still. I mean, I think he's gonna have a great year, and I don't think his career is gonna be over because of ego. Because I think that he's actually. I don't think he has that big of an ego, honestly. I just think he likes to have fun, and he's a young guy, and, he's enjoying what he's worked for, so, nobody should try to be mad at him for that, in my opinion. Our next take is, Hansi Flick won't be the Barcelona manager in a year's time as his system is very unsustainable and his history of not being in a job for very long. I mean, the Barcelona job, people don't typically last that long anyway. Our best ever manager, in my opinion, Pep, only lasted, 4 years? Yeah, he lasted 4 seasons. Rijkaard came in 2003. He left in 2008. Rijkaard lasted 4 or 5 years. I'm pretty sure 5 seasons. Valverde lasted 3 seasons. Luis Enrique lasted 3 seasons and won a treble in his first year, and he only lasted 3 seasons. It's a job that has a lot of turnover, man. It's tough to be the Barca coach. It's the same thing with Madrid. If you look at Ancelotti or Mourinho or any of these guys, they last a very short time. It's not a job where you have a long leash and any slip ups you can be sacked instantly. I mean, Xavi, they waited a while because he's a club legend. But I think if Xavi, if his last name was, Herrera, and he had no ties to Barca, I think he would have been sacked a lot sooner because I think that job is that demanding. So, again, Hansi Flick, I love him, man. I hope he's the Barca coach for a long time. I don't buy this bullshit about he's not good in his second year. I think this guy, his players love him, and he's a great tactician. So I want to see Hansi Flick at Barca for a long time. But again, I don't see that happening because again, the Barca job is a job that usually you're there for 4 years and then you're out the door. So hopefully Hansi Flick can be the anomaly, the one difference in those guys that I named, and Guardiola and Enrique and Valverde. But I don't think it will be. A couple more takes here before we finish off the video. With the strict restrictions and limitations imposed onto La Liga financial fair play by that fraud Tebas, I do not see any Spanish clubs performing well in European competitions apart from Barca, of course. Everybody's talking about Javier Tebas and how he's a fraud and how La Liga, they can't spend with the Premier League because look at the spending the Premier League has and La Liga can't do that. The Premier League has so much money and La Liga doesn't give their champions that much money. Everybody's talking about it. And I get the frustration, okay? Because, it's annoying to see the Premier League, all these clubs spend all this money and the La Liga champions can't even register their players. I get it's annoying. But here's the thing, bro. La Liga's spending is not exactly like penny for penny on par. La Liga's spending is not exactly penny for penny on par with the other leagues, but it's pretty close. Like, the Premier League is just an outlier, man. They're just an anomaly. So don't look at the Premier League and compare La Liga to that because nobody can compete with that. They're by far the biggest league in the world. By far and away the biggest league and the most popular league in the world. The Premier League gets treated like the NFL or the NBA. It's like people treat it like it's just they only watch the Prem. A lot of people only watch the Prem. Honestly, those people exist. Most of your team is not in Europe and you don't care about any of these. Like, a lot of people just watch the Prem. So I think that, look, when I look at La Liga, yes, I would love to see Barca be able to spend like Liverpool and all those things. But here's the thing that people forget, man. La Liga, most of their talent comes from within La Liga. Like, Spanish clubs don't really like to go out and sign players. They like to breed their own players. Look at Bilbao. Like, that's one of the few clubs, I think it might be the only club on earth that doesn't sign anybody. They literally breed all their players from their academy. They refuse to sign anybody if they're not from the Basque region. So that's something that most other leagues don't have a team like that. La Liga, like they like to build from the grassroots. So I think that I don't think La Liga needs to spend like the other leagues because Spain has so much talent. They have so much young talent all the time. The same thing as kind of Ligue 1 with France. So I think that, I get it's annoying when we look at Javier Tebas as this terrible guy who doesn't treat his league well, but At the same time, you got to look at the Premier League and not compare yourself to them because they're so much bigger than every other league. I think that when you look at it on par with the other leagues, it's kind of close. So I think, look, I'm not the biggest fan of Herteros. The fact that I just kind of defended him there, I'm kind of pissed about it. But I don't think it's all his fault when it comes to, how much these teams can actually spend. And our last take is, not a hot take, but 100K per back shot. How many you taking? I saw this in like the community top post and it really intrigued me, man. This is not because of back shots, okay? I'm not intrigued by that, but just the question itself, because it's something that you really don't want to do, but it's like you can make so much money. It's like selling drugs. You don't want to do it, but you can make so much money. It's the same thing here, except it involves the body. And 100K per back shot. Surprisingly, to some of you guys, I've never taken a back shot in my life. Never taken a back shot. Given it though. Wink, wink. Am I right, fellas? Anyway, no. I have never taken a back shot. Nor do I ever plan to. But we'll know. You'll see. We'll see. Sometimes things change, but I don't think they will. The point is, never done it. I don't know how it feels. But I know I've never won 100K either. I've never, like, that's a lot of money. But man, how much money do you need to be set for life? You need like let's just say, like, if you give somebody 10 million, they're pretty much set. If you invest it the right way, even 5, let's just call it 5 to be more conservative. 5, like, to be more like, not so crazy. 5 million, that's enough to live pretty good if you know how to invest that money well for the rest of your life. 5 million is a lot of money. That's how many back shots, bro? That's 50 back shots for 5 million. That's a lot of back shots. But for $1 million, you're only taking 10. So could you take 5 back shots and be a millionaire? I mean, you could call yourself a millionaire. That'd be fucking incredible, man. Not the back shots part, but just like every time, like, look, every time it's happening, you're not enjoying it, but you're like cha-ching, cha-ching, because your bank account's getting fuller and fuller by the stroke. Anyway, that's my take now. I don't think I answered the question, but we did analyze it together, which is just as good. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for the best graphic tees in the game. Check out the final thread. The link is in the description. I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who submitted their hot take. It means a lot to me. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.